Hello again, and welcome to the St. Louis Blues Hockey Legends Podcast. Tom Calhoun here to shine a light on the stories of those instrumental in blues history. The Blues Legends Podcast is presented by Sarah Honda, O'Fallon, Illinois. Check out all the great deals and their 618 Sarah Bucks offer at sarahhondaofallon.com. And we welcome a new participating sponsor, Shane McGranahan, Country Financial. Call Shane at 618-476-3366 for all your home and auto insurance needs. On this episode, it's another of our Name Game pods with our 4 recent legends, where we ask them to react to the names of people from their hockey lives. First up, the great and mostly retired anthem singer Charles Glenn. Early blues scoring superstar and Hall of Famer Wayne Babych after that. The first St. Louisan to make the NHL and likable, gregarious, tough guy Cam Janssen. And our inspirational hero for the 2019 Stanley Cup run, Laila Anderson, with her dad Scott. Stick around, we'll get started as we throw some names at Charles Glenn in 60 seconds.
When it's time to find your next car, what's changed in your life? What's driving you to start the process? What are you really looking for? These are the questions we're asking at Sarah Honda. We believe in real communication, real problem solving, and trustworthy long-term relationships with our customers. We're part of your community, and we want you to be part of ours. At Sarah Honda, the experience drives everything. You've got a lot going on in life, and you depend on your car to get you to places you need to be. So when it's time for maintenance or repair, we know you need it done fast and done right. Convenience and quality customer service with team members you can trust. That's what you're looking for. We'll get you safely back on the road and back to your busy life. At Sarah Honda, the experience drives everything.
We know our friend Kelly Chase, Charles, is battling leukemia as we speak and doing a great job battling it from what I can tell. What are your thoughts about Chaser?
I get choked up about him every time I think about him. He acted like I knew him for 20 years. But the one thing I remember is his 5 words, "Hey, buddy," I'm getting choked up again. Buddy, we're still here. When he says that phrase, the whole auditorium went crazy. The whole ice rink went crazy. They went crazy because that started the fight.
Yeah.
His speech, we were down 2-0, and then we're here, but buddy, we're still here, and it just set the tone for the whole Stanley Cup. I love him.
So I understand you sang at Pat Maroon's wedding as well.
Yes, I did. And it was beautiful. It was at, the reception was at Four Seasons downtown. And we did 3 hours. And after we performed 3 hours, I was packing my stuff up and he goes, "Hey, where are you going?" I said, "I'm going home. The job's over." "No, the job is just started. The patio is open all night. You need to come and party with us. This is my wedding." So I stayed for a little while. I thought that they would go farther than I wanted to go.
And probably did.
But it was a beautiful reception.
Yeah. Good old Big Rig. We'll get him on this podcast one of these days too. So.
Oh yeah.
He's still pretty busy with his son's hockey and everything. So, but we'll work it out. I understand you became friends with Manny Legacy's dad along the way, right?
Absolutely. When Manny Legacy was in goal, his father was always in the tunnel. And the nicest man the nicest man. And he talked to me like he knew me for 40 years. And he would make fun of my, well, like sometimes I'd bring my grandkids. He'd make fun of them. They're always running around. Are they going to be all right? I said, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. And he made fun of me with my wife because my wife is younger than I am. And he goes, you want to explain that? I said, there's nothing to explain. Very nice man.
These hockey people are mostly nice people. You bet. How about Ryan Reeves? What can you tell us about him?
Ryan Reeves and I used to talk quite a bit. We used to talk quite a bit. When he was with us, he was the hit man. So I brought my pastor, uh, Pastor Tracy Mack, and he saw Ryan Reeves skating on the ice for warm up. And he looked at me and he goes, "Wait a minute. Did Ryan Reeves have a father that played football?" I said, "Yeah, I believe he did." He said, "In the CFL?" "Yeah." He said, "I played for him. I played with him.
Hmm.
I played with him." And Tracy Mack was a linebacker, and I heard he was not nice. I heard he was not, but he said I looked at him and I knew that his father and I played football together.
How about that? Small world, they say. Yeah,
It is. It
yeah, it
is.
is. So, you know, people like Darren Pang are running around down there on that event level at the Enterprise Center all the time. I bet you ran into him.
Oh yeah, we were at a Sunday brunch at Bristol's, and we were leaving, and Darren Pang came in, and he said, "Charles, it's good to see you. This is my family," and he introduced me to everybody in his family. Very nice man, but I didn't know he was a goalie. And so
Yeah,
they had, the pregame, the Winter Classic against the uh,
the
the
Black.
retired players,
Yeah, yeah. The
and he was in goalie.
the
He was
alumni
in
game.
goal.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, he was. Yeah, he was, and still is, I think, one of the shortest NHL goalies of all time. So he always brings that up occasionally.
Oh, but he is so full of energy. Even when we were at the restaurant, but he was so gracious. Like I said, to introduce everybody in his family. Come here, come here. I want you to meet this guy. I want you to meet this guy. He's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, he's a dandy. Definitely worth having as a friend, no doubt about it. So, anybody else that comes to mind that you'd like to throw out a thought or two about?
Oh, Chris Stewart. Chris
Oh yeah,
Stewart was real cool. Um, my daughter loved Chris Stewart. I don't know if she thought he was single. I don't know, but when she was a Blues Crew girl, she followed Chris Stewart around. I mean, she just loved him.
mm,
She just loved him.
he was a pretty handsome
Um,
fella. Yeah,
oh yeah, he is. He's pretty. He's pretty. Before Jason Pippy, Lamont Buford was in charge of entertainment,
yeah,
and I think he's in Seattle now.
yes he
But
is.
he took care of my whole family. We invited him for dinner um on Thanksgiving. He would come every year, and then when Jason Pippy started, Jason Pippy would come over to our house for Thanksgiving dinner, and
How
we'd
about
have a ball. We'd have a ball.
yeah,
Uh,
Lamont went to Phoenix originally after he left the Blues organization. Now he's up in Seattle,
Absolutely.
and he's cut out a really dandy career for himself. He's really done
Yes,
well.
he did.
Yeah,
Yes, he did. He is something else. He is something else. You know. Uh yeah. Uh, of course, Grant Fuhrer. I met Grant Fuhrer at a Legends game, and the funny thing is, I said, Mr. Fuhrer, how are you? And I'm the anthem singer for, the blues. And it kind of startled him. And Brett Hall says, hey, Charlie, come here for a minute. Come here. He says, you got to know this guy. He was telling Grant Fuhrer, you got to know this guy. He's been here for a while. You got to know. He goes, oh, okay. Okay.
Our next legend and name game player, the always energetic and fun Cam Janssen, after this 30-second timeout.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on, so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
Call Shane McGranahan, taking care of all your insurance needs in Missouri and Illinois. And I'm going to start with Kelly Chase.
My boy right there, heart of a lion. Look up to him. I look up to that man. Always have. He was always had my back, always gave me the right advice. And I think that if I was in my prime and he was in his prime and we fought at center ice, it would be an awesome battle for the fans.
Yeah.
He'd still kick my ass now, actually, just to be honest with you, because he's just got that fire in him. I got to give him that.
He does. How about what should be a Hall of Famer and will be eventually, Keith Tkachuk?
Oh, one of the best teammates ever. I had a blast with him. He was so funny. He kept the mood light. He would chirp the coaches, including Andy Murray, on a daily basis. I couldn't say anything to Andy Murray, but Walt would come in and look at his outfit and make fun of him. Walt would put like a little, a towel down because Andy always slipped these little papers in underneath your little thing, and he'd block it from Andy. Walt was one of my favorite teammates ever.
How about Bobby Plager? I always ask your thoughts about the legend.
I put him in the category with Chaser, where he knew about me when I was moving up to Windsor, and he'd talk about me. And I always had a connection with Bobby. We would do events together all the time, and it'd always be me and Bobby. And after he passed away, his famous signature where he has a little smiley face. I do that with my signature now too, just a little smiley face in honor of my boy Bobby Plager, who I love.
How about Barrett Jackman?
Jax, a quiet guy, another great teammate, and he would have to keep us all in line because you got to understand, Jax was one of the leaders of that team when it was me, Oshie, Berglund, EJ, all these young guys that are out of control, and Jax had to be the guy to put his foot down in a cool older brother way without yelling at you or anything like that. He had his hands full with all of us young guys, and he did a damn good job.
You mentioned the next guy on my list, TJ Oshie.
I've never seen so many girls be infatuated with a guy in my life. We would do autograph signings in South County Walmart, and it would be all girls. And because Osh was there, and they wouldn't let him leave. They would jump on his car, and they wouldn't want to let him leave. And I've never seen anything like that in my life. And he took over this town in a way. And you still look out there from above and see all those TJ Oshie jerseys. He had a hell of a career, and he was a really good friend.
How about David Perron?
Barry. He listens to the podcast all the time, and he chirps us, me and Andy. But a warrior, tough, skilled. Now, when Perry was 18 years old, man, he was 18, 19. He was immature. He would lose the puck. He would do this. He was in his own world because he made the NHL real fast. But boy, oh boy, he became a man, and he became mature and a hell of a player. Great teammate. My roommate. I felt bad for him because we were roommates, and I probably kept him up more than I should have. But he's still doing his thing, and him winning, being a part of that cup-winning team was just special.
Yes, it was. How about Petro, Alex Pietrangelo?
Quiet guy. Hell of a hockey player. I remember when he first walked into the locker room, me and Dan Hinote and Jay McKee are sitting there like, what's up? And we're like, look at this tall drink of water. He looked like Andy Dufresne walking in like, what do I do? Then he goes out in the ice, and he has the puck the whole time, and he becomes the leader he did. And if you look back on that 2019 run, which is on NHL Network here and there, isolate Alex Pietrangelo and look at how much he dominated every single one of those games. He was unbelievable. Blocking shots, scoring big-time goals, doing this, doing that, killing plays. Fantastic.
And the future general manager of the Blues, Alexander Steen.
He's going to be a damn good GM. He's going to be a great GM. He knows how to talk to guys. He's not that far away from playing. He's actually still, played with guys that are still playing right now. So he's in with that. He knows how to talk to you. Very smart man, very hockey smart. If you talk to him, he could laugh, he could joke, he could do this, he could do that. He's still old school, but he's a very smart guy, and hockey's in his blood with him and his daddy.
Last name on my list, Ryan Reeves. Did you go at it with Ryan a time or two?
Reaver took my job.
Yeah.
I got knocked out by my own teammate, Brad Winchester, against the Flyers. Kate's first game with her family there. We run into each other, knocks me out. First time I've ever been knocked out, choking on my tongue. They call Ryan Reeves up. The first game he goes out there, he beats the hell out of a couple guys. And I look at myself, I'm like, in the mirror, I'm like, oh boy, he's going to take your job. But whenever he was a young kid, I took him out all the way out to my house. And he'll make fun of me for this. I went on YouTube when it first came out, and I showed him my fights. And I taught him when he was young, when he came out to my house to hang out and stuff like that. I always like to take the young guys out because I knew the town and whatnot. So, but he's still doing his thing. He's a nice guy. His persona on the ice is completely different if you talk to him one-on-one. He's actually a very humble, good dude. But the way he presents himself, he's cocky and stuff like that. That's really not him. He's a sweetheart of a guy, man. And I'm rooting for him still.
Next up is the little girl who received a bone marrow transplant and was the inspirational mascot during the 2019 Stanley Cup run. Now a happy, healthy high school senior, appearing on a recent podcast with her dad, Scott, it's Laila Anderson. We've heard this guy during the podcast, Colton Parayko.
A blessing to our family. That's what I would say.
Okay. Yeah. Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Kelly Chase.
Chaser. You can't describe Chaser. Chaser is... He's a great guy. Chaser, I'm so thankful for him. He brought me into the organization, but he's showed me how to give back, and he gave me my heart for serving.
Yep. Our thoughts and prayers are with him throughout this journey. He taught Laila how to fight hard to overcome what she was going through. So they've talked a little bit, so he knows that she's thinking of him. So he is going to fight hard for himself and for other people and this city and beat this horrible thing.
Yeah, Chaser told me in the hospital when I got my brain surgery, so this was in like 2018, he told me that just a little bit of your time can mean a lifetime to someone else. And I have taken those words and really put them in my heart, and everything I do is because Chaser taught me how to do it.
Strong stuff, and nobody is stronger in a lot of ways than Kelly Chase. Alexander Steen.
Oh, Steener. I'm so grateful for him. He is just a member of our family. He had my cousin and I over for hot chocolate, and he was one of the biggest lights in my darkness. And I'm so grateful that he's like a part of the organization again now too. There's not one bad thing I could say about Senior.
I'm proud of his accomplishments and his growth and what he's leading the Blues in the future. And he's an exceptionally nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make him much smarter than him either. He's a sharp tool in the shed, no doubt about that. How about that other guy that's going into the Hall of Fame, Pat Maroon?
Oh, Pat. Pat Oh my goodness. Through the 2019 Cup run, Pat was everything. Pat and Francesca and Anthony, just, I vividly remember, oh, I get chills every time. I might cry. So after the Western Conference final, my mom, my grandpa and I, we were down, what's the club by the tunnel? I don't remember the name, but we were down at that one.
It changes.
Yeah. We were down there, and all the guys were coming in with their suits and, you know, doing interviews. And oh my goodness, Pat came over and he just looked me in the eyes and he said, "Laila, we're fighting for you." And I just started crying, and I like didn't believe him. And he's like, "No, I promise you, like, Steiner brings you up in the locker room, and we're genuinely fighting for you, Laila. We love you." And that just, oh
Yeah,
that was the moment for,
I mean, they're in the Stanley Cup fighting for their lives and their careers and the goal that they want to get to. And then they're saying they're fighting for your daughter. So it really touches home, you know. Like I've always said, and Laila said too, is hockey players are a different breed.
Mm-hmm.
They all are different.
I've known that since 1987 when I first started working for the team, and I said to people back then, I said, you know, most of these guys are humble, appreciative of being professional athletes, and they don't mind saying so, and that's carried forth all the way into here 2026. Scott, how about you? Do you have any experience with Tom Stillman and Chris Zimmerman at the top of the organization that you'd like to talk about?
More so with Chris, because Laila and I see him at other events and out more often, and he's just always been very kind to both of us. And you know, I'm surprised he knows my name, to be honest with you. And then when he says, you know, Scott, hi, you know, how are you doing? You know, then he'll say Laila and how's Heather. It amazes me that, you know, he remembers that when he meets so many people. And so he's just always been really nice and kind to us. And then the handful of times with Mr. Stillman, you know, it's been amazing. He's just been nice too. Like Laila and I saw him when Maryville opened, and you know, they had the cup there and we were off to the side, and he's like, no, come grab the cup, Laila, come out and take pictures, carry it to the case with me. So it's, you know, to open her up and our family to the organization and things that they did, we always will be grateful.
I'm sure Laila got a hug up on the stage under the arch after the Stanley Cup parade from Mr. Stillman, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think I did. So
Yeah.
Oh, the
what about Chief Craig Berube? What was the experience with him during that time?
Laila was more around him more often, and he, you know, he's just nice.
Yeah,
right?
Chief would always go out of his way to make sure my mom and I we were okay and comfortable. It was just, I mean, everybody went out of their way. Chief, he was incredible. Yeah, I was just really fortunate to have like built a relationship with him.
Who were we standing by when they told to get Brett off the stage?
That was John Hamm.
Oh, John Hamm, and then they told.
Who else? Was it? It might have been Chief.
Yeah, the Chief. Chief said.
I got it.
Yeah, go ahead, Laila.
Okay, so when we were at the parade, my mom, we were all kind of off to the side. You were there too.
Mm-hmm.
We were all off to the side. We were near Chief, and Brett went up on the stage. I had just gotten off the stage. Brett went up on the stage and, you know, started singing Gloria, the beautiful
We went blues minute, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that's what it was. Panger. They told Panger, and Panger goes, "You try getting him off the stage."
Oh my gosh, I remember that. Yeah.
That's
no. And then John Hamm like spawned behind me. He put his hand on my shoulder and goes, "Miss Anderson, stay away from Holly." And I go, "Yes, sir."
We must have been pretty close because I heard a lot of that part of the conversation myself.
Yeah.
So, our final legend on this Name Game pod is the team's first 50 goal scorer and Blues Hall of Famer Wayne Babych. Okay.
Sure.
Let's start with Bernie Federko.
Well, Bernie, you know, obviously unsung hero. I mean, he's the most, you know, like known, most underrated player that probably in the game, and now, he's been awarded being the NHL Hall of Fame. He's a great teammate. I don't know if I still owe him from our shootouts. He always won, or most of the time, but a great personality. A great friend, and his whole family was fantastic, and um, great competitor. Great teammate. He started me off, and I appreciate everything he did for me.
Brian Sutter.
Well, probably could be one of the greatest leaders that I ever played with. His grit, his style of play. No matter how big you were, he continue coming after you. He always had your back, and he had the team's back. It was a great player, great competitor. I I can't say enough. I'm trying to have a heart. It's there's so much to say about that guy, but probably the biggest. His leadership was second to none.
You mentioned Barclay Plager earlier, but I always bring up the Blues ambassador, Bob Plager. What do you have to say about Bobby?
Bobby was. I remember St. Louis flew me in when Brett Hall was breaking my record, and we sat up in the press box in the old Checker Dome, and he had everybody crying the whole game, like, with his obviously his stories, his calm, is one of the funniest men on the planet, and especially in hockey. And he just told me some of the stuff that him and his brother did. How, and just watching, I got pictures of him hitting guys, hip checking guys, sending guys way in the air. He must, I never got a chance to watch him play, but I've seen a lot of pictures that indicate that he's kind of like almost this, like a guy, like a competitor like Brian Sutter, always gave it his best. That's probably why they call the Plager brothers, Blues hockey, they're Mr. Hockey in St. Louis, and he was a great individual. It's too bad we lost him so early, but a great friend. It was he was great. He was a great competitor.
How about Red Berenson, who not only was a great player, but went on to be a great coach as well?
Yeah, well, Red, he's the one that kind of motivated me. He knew what what to say to me to get me riled up even more, and showed me a lot of things that told me a lot of things. Probably the best hockey coach I ever had. And called the spade a spade and let you know what and it really helped me. I know a lot, and yeah, it was. And to have him, you never know, a coach has talked to you as a player, and then he talked about me at my Hall of Fame. I was like, I never told him to say any of those things, and it was like I was surprised at what he thought of me as a player, and but he was probably my biggest, the best coach to help me in my career.
Now, you played with this guy in Pittsburgh a little bit. Let's find out what you have to say about Mario Lemieux.
Well, Mario's an unbelievable talent. I wish I was on his forehand though. Uh, I picked up the garbage there. I thought, great skill, an unbelievable skilled player. And we had a winger, Warren Young. I think he was like a 31-year-old rookie. Had 40-some goals that year. But I seen Mario go on his knees and stand up and going around guys at the same. His skill level was second to none. Like for a big man, slim big man, his strength off the ice didn't compare to his strength on the ice. He was just like twice as strong on the ice. Just was amazing, amazing individual, and obviously a great player. And it's too bad his career was short, but he he led us as an 18-year-old, and he filled buildings. It was he's an amazing hockey player, that individual.
And this man is still one of the top coaches in Blues history, but he was a teammate of yours in Hartford, Joel Quenneville.
Yeah, he's yeah. I'm so happy for him. You kind of, we called him the Wall for different reasons, and his, you know, he, it's amazing. He's a player's coach, and that's the way I recognize him. He knows, what the players need and all that, and obviously he's with his success, he's got to know a lot about hockey too, and it's he obviously studied the game, but I think the biggest thing is he knows how to treat the players. Now his success again, like he's back coaching and he's doing a great job, and he's just it's yeah, they were a great family, and obviously he played with me in Hartford, and it's great to see, and how these guys adapted to the game, and again, a player's coach, a great guy, and yeah, I hope him nothing but success over there at his new gig down in California.
Thanks for being with me for another episode of the St. Louis Blues Hockey Legends Podcast. We'll have another legend coming up soon, so stay tuned to our social media for news on who that legend might be. Visit paguytom.com or blueshockeylegends.com and sign up for our Legends email notifications. The Legends Podcast is also available on the Scoops Sports Network at scoopswithdannymac.com. Video of the podcast is published the Monday after the Friday release of the audio. As always, please like and share on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It all keeps the Legends Podcast alive and well. Tom Calhoun here saying thanks for being a fan, and let's go Blues!